Welcome back to the ChatGPT prompt engineering series. In this video, we'll dive into the essential rules for crafting effective prompts. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced user, mastering these fundamentals will make your interactions with ChatGPT more efficient and productive. Always use clear and specific language when crafting prompts. Ambiguity can confuse the model and lead to undesired results. So for example, instead of saying, "Tell me about cats," try something more precise. For example, "Tell me about the history of domestic cats in Europe." Well, let's give it a try. Okay, the first, let's just say, "Tell me about cats." It's going to be a very generic response. Now let's try our prompt that is more specific. Tell me about the history of cats, domestic cats, domestic cats in Europe. Or if you want to find out any specific breed of cats, you can try that as well, but we're just gonna try that one. So this way you can get more specific response that you're kind of expecting. Next, let's talk about structuring prompts. For simple tasks, a straightforward single-step prompt works perfectly. For example, translate this in German. It's a beautiful day today. Or let's say, what is the capital of South Korea? For something straightforward and simple as this, you can just use one quick prompt. However, when you're trying to look for something more complex, you have to provide a more structured multi-step instructions. So let's look at an example. So here I'm going to copy this article from on Gemini 2.0 and going to summarize the article. All right, summarize the article and highlight 3 main points. Then suggest one improvement. Then you can paste the article within quotes, or you can upload actually a file containing that article, but we're just going to copy and paste in this example. So here ChatGPT is providing a summary of the article with 3 main points. I'm not going to read through it now, but you can see how ChatGPT gave you exactly what you were looking for, and it's also suggesting an improvement. All right, another tip is to include examples in your prompt. This is especially helpful when asking for creative responses or formatting. For example, instead of just saying write a poem about winter, add an example. Okay, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT, write a poem about winter. Here is an example, and snow falls quietly, covering the trees. A blanket of white in the chilling breeze. So that gives ChatGPT an example to follow. So first let's look at the difference. Okay, write a poem about winter. Winter's Embrace. So it wrote a poem about winter. Now I'm going to still writing. Okay, here's an example. Now it's going to write a poem that follows this example. The snowflakes flutter soft and slow, draping the earth in a radiant glow, and so on and so forth. But previously, it was like a hush descends, the world turns white, snowflake stands in soft twilight. So this is an example of how ChatGPT can replicate um, this format and then give you a poem that matches this example. So now I'm going to say something like, okay, give me 5 colors with their hex and RGB codes. So this is the response I got back from ChatGPT, which is perfectly fine. But let's say I was not expecting it in this format. So I can give an example. I can provide a format for ChatGPT to follow, and it's going to give me exactly what I was looking for. So let's say something like this. Please provide 1 line per color in this format. So now it's giving me in the exact format I asked ChatGPT for this information. All right, lastly, let's look at some common mistakes that people make and how to avoid those pitfalls. First of all, don't make your prompts ambiguous, and we saw some examples of that previously. Let's try one more. I'm bored. All right, it gave me some ideas of what I could do. Let's make it even more vague, more ambiguous. Tell me something interesting. Yeah, it did say something interesting about octopuses, but let's say that's not what I was looking for. Honestly, I was not looking for that anyway. So I'm bored and I want to find something. I want to know something about space exploration. So let's say, tell me something about space exploration. And it's going to give me some information about space exploration. I can even ask ChatGPT to just give me 1 paragraph or a couple of paragraphs, so you can further fine tune this, but at least you get an idea of what you can do. Another mistake is overloading your prompt with too many details at once. Overloading a prompt is when you ask too many informations at once and you confuse ChatGPT. Even if you don't confuse ChatGPT, the response you get back from ChatGPT might not be the best one that ChatGPT could have given you if you had broken down the prompt in smaller chunks. So let's look at an example. So I'm going to make a prompt that is overloaded. So my prompt says, can you explain the history of AI, how it works, the latest developments, its applications in healthcare, finance, and education, the ethical concerns surrounding it, and predict what the future holds. Keep it under 500 words. So it's going to give me a response, but it may not be the most efficient response or the best response that it could have provided. It's not reaching its potential. The way ChatGPT works is that it predicts the next word in the sequence. So it's trying not to make you wait too long for a response. So it's trying to gather information about everything that you asked. And it's also trying to keep it under 500 words. And it's trying to give you a response in a short amount of time. If you had broken down the prompt in smaller chunks, it could have focused on one of the questions at once, spend more time, utilize its time better, and give you a response that's better. As you can see, it did provide a response back, and it covered everything that you asked for, but this is probably not the best response ChatGPT could have given you. Now let's break it down. Let's say, can you explain the history of AI? Can you explain the history of AI? Keep it under 250 words. So right now it's focusing only on the history of AI, and it's probably giving you a response back that is better, more informative. It has more useful information than it did up here. I'm not going to compare right now, but you can do it at your own time and see the difference. The latest developments. Okay, what are the latest developments in AI? Keep it under 250 words. And now it's focusing only on the latest developments, and instead of focusing on too many things at once, it's focusing on one thing and giving you a response that is better. And that wraps up the basics of creating effective prompts for ChatGPT. Please come back for the next video on the series and learn more about prompt engineering. Thank you.